Hello everyone, welcome to Psychology 346, Social Psychology, and today we're going to briefly talk about prosocial behavior. So people help others out all the time, but it isn't exactly clear why that might be. If we think about this from an evolutionary perspective, it doesn't make sense that I would help out other people to the detriment of myself. I need to look out for myself, I want to pass on my genes, so I shouldn't be going out of my way to help other people. But we see this happen all the time. As we see that, at least evolutionarily, there are situations where this can be adaptive. So a squirrel, for example, might yell to help their brothers and sisters or their children to get out of danger at the detriment of themselves, where the predator is actually going to be focusing on them. We might see that an ant is sacrificing its life to help the queen or help more important ants in order for the genes and the benefit of the other ants in their colony to survive as long as possible. So those are examples with animals, but what about humans? Why might humans help each other? Well, sometimes we help because we feel like we need to pay someone back. Maybe they helped us in the past, so we need to help them. Sometimes we're just born or raised with a higher likelihood of helping people. Sometimes it's part of our cultural heritage. Sometimes we help people for selfish motives. Maybe we want to gain reputation or impress other people, or maybe we feel guilty and we want to reduce those feelings of guilt. Sometimes we help people because we feel empathy for them. Sometimes we feel another person's pain or plight, and so we want to go out of our way to help them in order to not only reduce their feelings of negativity, but also our feelings of negativity that we're feeling as a result. But all of these examples kind of identify ways in which we are benefiting from helping people. But does true altruism, that would be helping another person and gaining absolutely nothing in return, does this actually exist? Well, that point is up for debate, and there have been many studies trying to examine, all right, what are the situations in which people help each other, and is it even possible for another person to not receive anything in return after helping someone? Because more often than not, after helping someone, you yourself kind of feel good. You get these positive feelings of, yeah, I've actually helped someone, and you're actually benefiting in that way. So we see a lot of different situations and motivations for helping people, but we unfortunately also see a lot of situations which people don't help others, especially situations in which it's extremely obvious that someone needs help, someone's yelling for help, but people don't go out of their way to actually provide any assistance. And this is what's known as the bystander effect. There have been, unfortunately, many examples of this occurring in real life and day-to-day situations where someone maybe was shot or is being attacked or any number of distressing situations, and people are walking by and not helping. So what's happening here? Well, basically, because there are a lot of, so in all these situations, this is happening in a public place where there are a lot of other people around watching or hearing exactly what's happening. And everyone who's seeing this person get attacked is assuming or believing that another person will do something about this. Maybe they don't want to get involved, maybe they think they'll just get in the way, maybe they think they don't need to help. In all these situations, everyone else thinks that everyone else is going to do something, and no one ends up doing anything about it. So what are ways in which we can reduce this bystander effect? Well, first, we need to make sure that we are aware of an event. We want to make sure that we're able to notice an event. That often means not being cognitively taxed by thinking about a lot of things. And this is something that you don't necessarily have control of all the time. You can't always be in a state of awareness, ready and willing to help at all times. If you are able to notice that an emergency is occurring, you need to be able to define it as an emergency. So there can be ambiguous situations. Oftentimes, ambiguous situations lead to the bystander effect more often than not. So being inquisitive, asking questions, trying to figure out as much information as possible about the situation will help reduce this effect. After the emergency has been defined, someone needs to accept responsibility for doing something about it. So oftentimes that means not only identifying an emergency, but letting other people know, hey, something's happening here. We need to do something about it. After deciding that something needs to be done, someone needs to figure out, all right, who needs to do what? Identifying someone to call 911, identifying someone to start CPR if that needs to help, identifying someone to try and get help by running to go get someone. Trying to figure out exactly what needs to happen in that very moment. and then actually following through and implementing that plan of help. So if I want you to take away anything from the class this quarter, is that the bystander effect is a very real thing, and it can unfortunately contribute to the death of individuals. That's just the truth. So if you ever think you see an emergency situation, I want you to err on the side of caution and do something about it. Be the one person who steps in, defines the emergency, steps in, and tells people what they need to do. Don't think that someone else has already done something. Don't assume that. Be the person. What's the worst that happens? You try and help, and then they say, no, something's already happened. Someone's already helped. Be that person, take the step in, and make a change. So that's all I have for your time today. Thank you for your time and attention, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.